Like I said, I am a recruiting coordinator. I cover Troop C. We do have recruiting coordinators strategically placed throughout the state of Alabama so that anyone who's interested in getting into law enforcement or being a part of our family, they'll have someone to walk them through the process. Now, I am not being biased because I work for ALEA, but I can truly say that ALEA is an inclusive environment where every voice can be heard regardless of rank or position. Having said that, we take what we do very serious. I would like to think we do a great job in being very clear and concise and being confident when we go out and perform our duties. Now, our training is a 22-week-long process, and it's conducted on the campus of Wallace Community College in Selma. That's where recruits get everything they need to become professional Alabama State Troopers. Now, in the area where I work, it's called the Department of Public Safety, and there's a driver's license division, there's highway patrol, and there's marine patrol. Now, in the highway patrol, that's where 65% of our sworn officers are. And our duties are to go out and proactively enforce Title 32, that is the rules of the roadway, as we go about our daily functions. We also actively patrol the waterways as well. If anyone's interested in getting a sneak peek at what we do, I'm encouraging them to go to check our website out. Check our website out. It's www.alea.gov. Go under the employment section. There's about a 3-minute video. I'm certain if there's anyone out there that has ever thought about getting into law enforcement, once you watch that video, there should be something on there that should just spark an interest. And if that's the case, I'm going to encourage everyone to reach out, to go to the website and find the recruiter in your area. You can reach directly out to them and we will assist you in any way possible. Now, there are a few requirements. If you bear with me, I will bring them up. There are a few requirements that you're going to have to meet before you can actually be considered for employment. Let's see. All right, just bear with me. All right, here we go. Can everyone see that? Yes, okay. All right, good deal. There are a few requirements that you're gonna have to meet. One is you're gonna have to have at least a high school diploma or GED in conjunction with a certificate showing that you've passed the BAT test or the basic ability test, or you're gonna need at least an associate's degree or higher. You must be at least 21 years of age. You must be a US citizen. You must have a valid Alabama driver's license, and you must meet the requirements of ALEA and Alabama Peace Officers Standard and Training Commission, including the physical agility and ability test. You also must pass a background check, which includes a polygraph, and you must be willing and able to relocate anywhere in the state of Alabama. You also must be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which includes holidays. You must pass a psychological evaluation, and that's going to be post-offer. And you also must pass a drug screening. Now, I'm going to give you just a little insight of how the recruiting process works. Say we meet an applicant, they appear to be a good applicant. They meet the minimum requirements, they fill out the application, state personnel receives their application and places them in, hypothetically speaking, band 1. What will happen is someone from state personnel will reach out to me or my supervisor and let me know that, hey, we have an applicant that's we're gonna put on your tracker. All right, what I'll do is I'll go in, I'll pull that applicant's application, I will reach out to them and we'll get the process started. There's gonna be a questionnaire that's gonna have to be filled out. Granted, everything pertaining relative to the questionnaire goes well, I'll schedule a PT test or a physical assessment test, which is going to consist of time push-ups, time sit-ups, a time 1.5 mile run, and an obstacle course. Granted, all goes well, I will provide the applicant with the background packet, the 85-page background packet. The applicant will fill the will fill the background packet out and turn it in to me within 10 days. I'll look it over. I'll assign them to a polygrapher. The polygrapher will reach out to the applicant, schedule a polygraph exam. And once the polygraph exam is completed, granted all goes well, the polygrapher will return the packet to me. I'll review the packet and I will assign it to a background investigator. Now, the background investigator is going to go through the packet. He's going to reach out to the applicant's references. He's going to make sure that everything in that packet is in compliance. Granted, all goes well there. The background investigator will return the packet back to me. I'll look it over and I'll submit it to the chain of command. And at that time, the chain of command will make a selection as to whether or not they're going to offer employment to the candidate. But it's a fairly easy process. Historically, it's taken anywhere from 18 to 24 months to possibly be hired. But now we're doing it in record time because we actually have recruiting coordinators in the field that are readily and available to assist the applicants with any and everything that they need. So it's a fairly simple process. All right, Allison, is there anything else you want to share about the process with coming to your side?
Sure. So he mentioned several times that the background investigation would occur. So before we get too far into the Fusion Center portion, the Fusion Center in the State Bureau of Investigation within ALEA actually conducts part of that background investigation. Our intelligence analysts are tasked from Trooper King and all of his cohorts in the recruiting office to actually conduct that background investigation. So our staff goes out, pulls all of the references, maybe some contact information, past information that we have access to within our state databases, and provides that back to Trooper King so that he can assist in his evaluation of you or a candidate. That helps just give that overall picture. It's just part of the background process. And so we are excited to be a part of that background process. And I think our team works very hard to make sure that each candidate is vetted properly and all of the pertinent information is returned to Trooper King.
Good deal, good deal. Now, just for those that don't know, just for those that are wondering, what is a trooper's primary function? Where we were created to respond to and properly investigate traffic crashes. That's what we do on the highway patrol side and the marine patrol side. They investigate vessel crashes and they proactively patrol the waterways. Now, like I said, in the meanwhile, when we're not investigating traffic crashes, we're out there patrolling the roadways. But the academy itself, it's typically, well, let's back up a little bit. If you're already certified, if you're a certified officer, we have what's called an accelerated program where the academy for those individuals can be anywhere from 7 to 12 weeks. But if you don't have any law enforcement experience, the academy typically will be 22 weeks. During that time, they will be on the campus of Wallace Community College in Selma. The instructors there are very professional. It's a paramilitary setting. So typically it's structured all the time, but it's going to consist of early morning activities, such as physical training to make sure that your body is physically ready for all the challenges that you may face. The daylight hours is going to be classroom curriculum. And then at nighttime, it's going to be a lot of study and just letting your body calm down from the day's rigorous activities to relax and prepare you for the next day. Now, like I said, it's 22 weeks upon completion of the academy. You're still not through training yet. We're going to put you on what's called a field training officer program where you'll be assigned to 2 training officers for approximately 10 weeks. You're going to have your primary, you're going to have your secondary, and then once you're done with your secondary, you're going to be transferred back to your primary. At that time, the primary officer trooper is going to be just watching you to make sure that you're able to conduct your affairs in a professional manner so that you don't get hurt, so that you're properly serving the public. And at that time, he or she will make a determination as to if you can go ahead and make full trooper status. Now, once you graduate the academy, there's a 6-month probation period. Once you make it off probation, there's you could get up to a 5% raise. After that, after another year, you can actually receive up to another 5% raise. So it's a really good outfit. It's a really good outfit. I've been working for the state of Alabama for 20 years, 13 years in the capacity of a trooper. I'm not saying it because I'm a recruiter, but this is really good stuff. I thoroughly enjoy what I do. Donna, does anyone have any questions for me as it pertains, or if it's relative to the highway patrol, the Marine patrol side, or the communication side?
I don't currently see any in our chat box, but students, if you're out there and you have questions, unmute yourself and take the opportunity to find out the answers to the questions that you have.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Actually, a couple of them. One is, I think I heard early on, was an internship. Did I hear that right?
No, you did not. Historically, we have had internship.
Okay.
Right now, we do not have an internship for highway patrol, but that is something that's being tossed around, and we're looking into it.
Okay. And then my next question is, you said it's an 18. No, hear me.
Try it again.
No, hear me. Said it was like for other people. An 18 to 24 month once you put it in. So I graduate, I believe next December. If I was interested in the next couple of months, should I maybe put in for that application?
Well, actually, I said historically it's taken up between 18 to 24 months, but since we have recruiting coordinators in the field, it's a relatively quick process. So when are you graduating?
Probably December of 2021, possibly in July.
Okay. December of 2021, July of 2022?
July of 2021.
July of 2021.
Or December.
How old are you?
I'm 22. I turn 23 in a couple of days.
Okay, perfect. If I were you, I would probably go maybe 3 months out from graduation.
Okay.
Yeah, just go ahead and get an application on file. We can start the process. Just out of curiosity, what area would you be looking to work in?
Really about anywhere. I'm originally from Dothan, so that area, possibly Mobile, really about anywhere I'd be okay with in Alabama.
Okay, right now we can definitely accommodate you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next question.
I have a similar question to the last part he was asking. What locations are typically, like he said, Dothan, Mobile area, but like what are some other locations people are normally stationed around?
Right now, we are hiring statewide. Statewide, we can accommodate you anywhere in the state of Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Next question.
We actually have one in the chat.
Okay.
They are currently traveling and have a poor connection, but they left their number and are requesting for a recruiter to contact them.
Absolutely.
Is that something y'all can do?
Yes, yes. I'm prepared to take the number now.
Okay. Their phone number is 334-806-0417.
Copy. 334-806-0417.
Yes, sir.
And what's the name?
They didn't leave their name.
Okay. All right. I'll reach out to them.
Thought I did. It's at the bottom.
Got the LJ line on?
All right. Next question, please.
Okay.
Are there any questions, Donna?
All right.
There are no more in the chat box, but students, if
Okay.
you have questions, now's your opportunity. Now we have one more. There's a lot of background noise. Okay. Unmute. However, I was wondering if there is any education incentive passed that required associate's degree. I'm not sure if there's any education incentive. Maybe they're wondering if maybe you compensate for education.
Yes, we do compensate for education. If you, upon entry, if you have an associate's degree, you can enter at a 2.5% higher rate than entry. If you have a bachelor's degree, you can enter at a 5% step higher. So basically it's a 2-step and a 4-step.
And then we have one more question. What is the age limit to apply?
We do not have age limits. There is a minimum age of 21, but we do not have age limits.
Okay, and what is the process to apply to be an intelligence analyst? And that question may be for Allison.
That's for Allison, yes.
Yes, I'm actually going to go over that. So I don't want to take Trooper King's question time, but I've got a site pulled up for everyone to go to here in just a minute, if that's okay.
All right, we will finish with 15 and any more questions? Any more questions for Trooper King? Okay, this may be, where does the age limit come into play when being considered for employment? Do you have to be 21 after completion of the academy or when being considered before the academy? So do you have to be 21 to apply? I'm assuming that they're asking.
Yes, that is correct. They must be 21 to apply. Yes, ma'am.
And then does prior military service count towards step increases?
Unfortunately, it doesn't. Whoever did that, thank you for your service. But unfortunately, it does not count.
Sucks.
Any more questions? This is a perfect opportunity to ask those questions.
One more question.
Okay.
I mean, I know some places, if you want to go and get like a master's, the department, they'll pay for it. Does ALEA offer that?
Unfortunately, we do
They
not.
don't? Okay.
We do not.
Okay, we have another question. I have a background in GIS and UAS and was curious if there were any opportunities in those fields.
Could you repeat the question?
Okay, I have a background in GIS and UAS and was curious if there are any opportunities in those fields.
What exactly does those acronyms stand for?
Okay, it's going to be a geographical type degree and then the UAS, Bethany?
Trooper King, I can speak to that a little bit on the State Bureau of Investigation side, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So GIS, we do utilize GIS at ALEA. Currently, they are in the Fusion Center. So all of our GIS technicians are utilized in the Fusion Center currently, but they're moving to Mr. Trippy's side shortly to be utilized by all of ALEA and under the IT umbrella. So we have GIS technicians and seniors. We actually have the state GMO office at ALEA currently in the Fusion Center. So we use mapping for GIS mapping. We use ArcGIS. We use the Esri software for a lot of our cases, both in investigatively and as well as large support for governor's inauguration, large missing person cases, things like that. In the UAS side, we do utilize UAS on the agent for crime scene mapping. We'll throw up any of our drones for traffic homicide investigations on the trooper side. And so all of that technology is, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, in the services division, but we do utilize that software, both of those within ALEA.
Next question.
There's no more in the chat box at this moment.
Okay. No more in the chat box.
Okay, here's another one. When you apply to ALEA, do you have to go through trooper training and duty before you can apply to investigations, or can you apply straight into the investigative or the investigation side of ALEA?
I think that's something that Allison maybe, yes, go ahead.
So on our State Bureau of Investigation side, historically prior to ALEA, you did have to be a trooper before you could become a State Bureau of Investigation agent. Currently in our new command structure, you do not have to be a trooper to be on the State Bureau of Investigation agent team. However, normally prior law enforcement at a local department, another state agency, a federal agency, is I don't want to call it required because it's not necessarily required if you're post certified. Normally that means you have been somewhere, and that's where they try to pull from is experience from local agencies. But you do not have to be a trooper to move over to the SBI. They do direct hires, but currently not hiring at this moment.
Okay. All right, next question.
There's none currently, no new ones currently. Okay, we can, if you'd like to, we can move on to another section, and then in students, if you have questions that you think of during the presentation, you can certainly type them in the chat box, and we'll keep up with those and make sure that your questions are.
Okay, good deal. Once again, Donna, like I said, I'm not being biased because I work for ALEA, but this is a department that truly serves others and we fulfill our duties with heart, which is honesty, excellence, attitude, which is a good attitude, respect for others, and teamwork. We're one big family. We're inclusive, and like I said, everyone has a voice in ALEA. Everyone. In my 20 years with the state of Alabama, this is the best version of me. I'm realizing that this is the best version of me. ALEA is a great department to work for.
We
Yes.
appreciate you sharing that with us. We talk to our students a lot about the passion for what they do, and that will carry you throughout whatever job or career you decide. And you can see the passion you have for your job, and we appreciate you sharing that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Not a problem. You know what? While we do have this platform, I don't feel like I would be doing my job in its entirety if I didn't talk a little bit about safety. While we have this platform, I want to take just a few moments to encourage everyone to, while you're operating your motor vehicles, while you're riding in your motor vehicles, take a few moments to buckle up. Don't just buckle up. Take a few extra moments to buckle up properly and make sure that everyone in the vehicle is properly buckled. Because as of yesterday's date, 60% of our fatal victims, that's crashes that are worked or investigated by troopers, 60% of those individuals were not wearing a safety belt. So I just want to take this moment just to get the word out again. I want you guys, I want everyone that's viewing today to tell someone the importance of wearing your seatbelt. It only takes 2 to 3 seconds to properly buckle up, but in the event you're involved in a traffic crash, it only takes 2 to 3 seconds to be violently killed. So my question is always, how are you going to utilize those 2 to 3 seconds? Are you going to utilize them buckling up properly or being killed? If that makes sense.
It does. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes. All right. Next question, please. Next question. I know there's someone out there that has questions for us. We're going to do everything within our power to get them an answer.
Students, don't be afraid, because this is a perfect opportunity to find out answers to those questions that you're thinking.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's a good one. Does every trooper get a cool car?
We get all trooper cars are cool. All trooper cars are cool. Currently, right now, our fleet consists of Dodge Chargers, Chevy Tahoes, and Ford Explorers. But I guess to answer that question, yes, all trooper cars are cool.
And then here's another one. Are the physical requirements for females the same as males?
Yes, they are. They are the same. The physical requirements are 22 push-ups in 60 seconds, 22 push-ups in 60 seconds, 25 sit-ups in 60 seconds, and you must complete a 1.5 mile run in 15 minutes and 28 seconds.
All right, and then here's another one. So do those that are wanting to be Marine police go through trooper training?
Yes, that is correct. If you have a desire to be in Marine Patrol, you must first go through Trooper Academy, because you're going to wear the exact same title as I do. You're going to be an ALEA state trooper working for the Marine Patrol Division.
There's no new ones at this moment.
Okay. Not a problem. You know what? I did not talk about the benefits. Let me pull that back up. Let's see. All right, let's see. Some of the benefits. We have what's called a daily subsistence pay. And basically that's $12 every day that you physically work 4 hours. And that's going to equate to roughly $2,750 annual. So you would put that on top of your salary. There's going to be 13 paid holidays, 13 days of annual leave with incremental increases. From start to your first 5 years, you're going to earn 4.20 hours of sick leave. You're going to earn 4.20 hours of annual leave. Once you make, well, now your sick leave is going to remain the same from start until retirement or departure, but your annual leave is going to increase every 5 years. So once you make 5 years, your annual leave is going to go from 4.20 hours per pay period to 5.25. You make 10 years, it's going to go from 5.25 hours to 6.30 hours. Once you make 15 years, it's going to go from 6.30 to 7.35. Once you make 20 years, it's going to increase to 8.40 hours per pay period. Once you make 25 years, it's going to max out at 9.45 hours. So that's a great incentive. Right now, I am in my 20th year. So every time I get paid, I get 8.40 hours of leave placed on the book. So that is really big for me. You also get 13 sick leave days each year. And for those in the military, they get 21 paid military leave days each year for employees taking part in qualifying military duties. So we have great benefits.
We do have some more questions in the chat box. Okay, I'm a psychology major with a minor in criminal justice. So do you offer, do you offer opportunities for training in that field?
Could you repeat the question?
Okay, I'm a psychology major with a minor in criminal justice. So do you offer any opportunities for training in that field?
Well,
The psychology degree would be the major that they will be interested in, but the criminal justice minor, would that help them in a career?
okay. Yes, to be honest, we'll accept the degree. It doesn't matter what your degree's in. We will accept it if you're applying to be in Alabama. I mean, if you're applying to be an ALEA state trooper, we will accept it.
And then you said that ALEA was hiring all throughout the state. Is this inclusive of Phoenix City, Alabama area, or does that fall under another jurisdiction?
No, all 67 counties, we're hiring for all 67 counties.
I think they may be thinking it's so close to the Georgia line that maybe that's what they're thinking. I'm not sure.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Then what does
We can definitely accommodate them.
Okay, Phoenix City does fall in the Alabama area.
Yes, yes. We can definitely accommodate them.
What does the schedule look like for a trooper?
Right now, Highway Patrol just went to 10-hour shifts. So hypothetically speaking, if you come out at 5 a.m., you get off at 3 p.m. If you come out at 6 a.m., you'll get off at 4 p.m. If you come out at 8 a.m., you'll get off at 5 p.m. and so forth on 6 p.m. as you were. So we're doing 10-hour shifts in Highway Patrol.
And how many days a week is that normally?
4 days a week.
4 days.
4 days a week, and it rotates.
Okay. So you may have some weekends and one week,
Absolutely.
not the next.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Does that answer your question, Lucas? Okay, are these shifts scheduled by supervisor every week or so? Is it set for the year? So I guess, do you know your schedule ahead of time?
Yes, yes. Our schedules are excuse me, our schedules are sent out every month. Every month. We're on what's called an offline. So we have a master offline that every trooper has access to. So you know well in advance if you're scheduled to work or not. But the actual schedule is pushed out every month.
All right, we had, I believe the director of information technology, is he still on with us? Was he able to join today?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Do you want to, let's see, Reginald, would you like for him to do his section while we're waiting?
Absolutely.
Come in, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Okay, I'll jump in there. Good afternoon, everyone. I am not a recruiter, so I apologize that I will not be as sharp or refined as the Trooper King was, but I'll do my best. We get to do the exciting stuff, and that's operate computers and maintain servers and play with technology. So not sure if our audience is really looking for that. We don't carry around guns or drive cool cars, but we do get to do a lot of exciting things, and we are absolutely involved and committed to the mission here at the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. Some of you may believe it, but technology is ingrained in everything that we do in some shape, form, or fashion, from the tickets we write being automated to tracking where trooper cars are across the state, and then obviously connecting communication in many different ways, much like what we're doing today with a video call. My background, I've actually only been with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency for 1 year. I was previously served in an IT capacity for the Air Force. I've worked for government contractors like Lockheed Martin. I got to serve in the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. for several years. And most recently, before coming over here, I was the data center manager for Hyundai Kia, North and South America. And so it's really a privilege to work for the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. At the end of the day, I can go home and know that what we're doing is making a difference, not just in law enforcement, but in public safety. Oftentimes I tell my staff that our job is to keep troopers on the road, and I don't want them coming back to the office or not being able to do their jobs because of computer issues or things like that, because it could be my wife or your daughter or your son on the side of the road. And our troopers do a lot day to day. It's not just writing tickets and driving fast. They're doing a lot of stuff. So I'm proud to be a part of that mission. I think a lot. My hope is to spread the word on the IT jobs and opportunities within the whole state, not just at the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. But the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency has a bigger IT job because we handle criminal justice information as well as law enforcement and public safety information around the state. We interact with the FBI and all the other states around the country. That's sharing information about criminals, about drivers. So if we pull somebody over from Kansas, our systems are what is being used to pull that driver's information and let officers know if that person has a warrant out for their arrest, or if they're a dangerous person, or if they have an expired license or things of that nature, right? And what I think is really cool is you're going to hear from Allison about what the Fusion Center does. And what's so fun about IT is we get to pull all what troopers do, what Marine Police does, what Fusion Center does, what State Bureau of Investigation does, we get to pull all those different pieces together and help them collaborate, share information, catch bad guys, and protect people. And as IT, we're right in the center of that. As a plug to come on board, we have an intern program, and we're also taking people and giving them skills and helping them learn. IT is so broad, but we're giving them the opportunity to learn different fields that they think they might want to go into. And then we have those different career fields on our team. So we have desktop administration, where you're getting to deploy computers and work with images of computers and operating systems. And then we also have system administrators, where we're working with Microsoft and Active Directory and building servers and virtual environments and cloud technology. For all of those that aren't computer geeks, I apologize. I'll run through this really quick. But we also have many storage environments, databases. We do application development. We're creating applications and apps on phones so that troopers can look up things, issue tickets, and do what they need to do anywhere they are across the state. We're pulling live feeds from drones that are looking for missing persons, pursuing people that have gone on foot into the woods. That way our officers don't have to put themselves in danger. We're, again, working with our law enforcement to make their jobs more effective and leveraging technology to keep people safer. It's really exciting. I could go on and on and on, but again, I appreciate y'all letting me come on here. I think that I didn't realize how much of an IT organization, how large it is here at ALEA or in the state. And so I've lived in Alabama since 2008 on and off, and I had no idea that the state was this involved in IT. So I'm excited about getting the word out there, especially to young people. It's really hard to get into a good job that's going to take care of you and allow you to grow. I think the state and ALEA are organizations that really provide that opportunity for young people. And so just knowing what opportunities are out there will really give y'all more options and not have to settle for something that you don't necessarily want to do or aren't excited about doing. Again, not a recruiter, so I'm sorry it's not polished. I'll work on it. But I'll just open it up for questions if you have any questions. I can answer questions too if you're curious about the public sector, because I spent most of my career out there. But any questions for ALEA IT or just IT careers in general?
We have one, and Katie, I'm not sure if this was your question for Aaron, but what is your degree and what degrees are applicable to jobs in your field?
Okay, that's a great question. So I think the state, I don't want to get too, I got to be careful. Again, I'm not a recruiter, so I don't have the training of what to say and what not to say. The state is in the process of trying to update some of their requirements around degrees and experience in IT career fields. Right now, a computer science degree is desired, but not mandatory. What is kind of mandatory and why I've started an intern program here is some experience. So some jobs don't require experience. Programmer, entry-level programmer requires at least 6 months of experience. So some jobs do, some jobs don't. I would advise you to go out to the Alabama State Personnel website, and I'll drop that link in the chat. But on there, it has IT career fields, IT pay ranges, and all the experience requirements. And again, to me, they're outdated, and the state is working on getting those updated, but that's still what they use right now. My degree was in business management. Nobody out there can relate to this, but I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do when I got out of college. And I just felt like, you know what, I think computers are going to be around for a little while. So I got into that and have made a career out of it. So I guess I got lucky, but I don't think troopers or computers, God willing, are going anywhere for a while. So
Thank you.
good question.
And then also, let's see, Okay, I currently have an associate's degree in computer science. Would that be sufficient to land a job with IT with ALEA?
Okay, that's a great question. Again, I'm going to put the link out there. I don't have all of the position kind of descriptions memorized. I believe that with experience, an associate's degree would allow you to qualify for some of the positions with the state. But I will leave that link in here. And again, has all the descriptions and all that type of information available.
Okay, and then this is another one that may be similar to what you just answered, but I'm currently working on my master's at Troy in computer science. And I was wondering how I could proceed in getting an IT internship.
Okay, that's a great question. Right now, all my internship positions are filled, but if you sent your information to us, we would definitely keep it on file. And I could ask other peers around the state if they're actively have any internship positions. Again, any full-time student qualifies for an internship. We really weren't too selective. We wanted people that were in the career field looking to possibly come into the state after college, or just wanted to get a taste of it and an idea of whether it's something they wanted to do. I would give you the caveat that we're hoping in the future to expand our internship program. Right now, it's just on our support center, which is kind of a help desk. It's a lot more dynamic than that. We get to support all law enforcement statewide there. It's very dynamic role, but we're hoping to branch that out into programming and system admin in a little more refined shops. But right now we don't have that.
How far in advance do you take applications for internships? Like, for instance, if they were to apply now, would it be for an internship in the summer of next year? Or or like if they applied in the spring, would it be for the fall of that year?
That's a great program, and I'm taking notes right now because prior to 3 months ago, we didn't have an internship program, so we just actually kicked it off. We started out with 3 positions as kind of our beta test, and we immediately filled all 3. I think we had about 7 applicants from some local schools here, but I would say I'll give some contact information out here, and we'll keep you on the list. But again, right now it's kind of filled up. I'll let my leadership know how excited people are to get on, and maybe we can grow it.
And that'd be a perfect opportunity for students because they're looking for that experience to be able to move into a position. So that definitely benefits.
But Donna, if I can, just a bit of advice. So I hear this a lot when I talk to young people. I have some graduates that are on my staff, and when I met with them, asking them what do they want to do, what's their career path, what's their goal, where do they want to go from where they're at right now. And oftentimes they give me all the buzzwords. Well, I want to be a security expert that knows storage, databases, and programs. Bill Gates doesn't even know all that, okay? So don't pigeonhole yourself or think that you have to know everything in IT. I would say position yourself to get experience in different things and find out what you like. Because cybersecurity is a big buzzword right now, but you may absolutely hate writing policy. And depending on what cybersecurity field you get into, that could be what your job is. So get with people that are in that industry that are doing those jobs and find out, and if you can get in an internship program where you can test it out. And really, that's our goal, is to give everybody a taste. It's kind of my recruiting point, because I hope that they'll come work for us when they're done with their internship. But
Great advice. Thank you for that. Okay, we have let's see. I'm working on a minor in digital forensics. Would that benefit me?
I think in the future, and we have some career fields, and maybe Allison would know more about this than me. We do have digital forensics teams. There's different types, as I'm sure you know. It's not in the IT field, but within our agency, we do have people with that expertise.
Okay. Okay. And there aren't any more questions in the chat box right now for you. I do have two for Trooper King though, that popped in. Or if you need this, we won't cut you off either if you want to.
No, I'm good. Again, just appreciate being here, and I'll try to put some useful information in the chat for everybody.
And we may have more questions for you because a lot of students are asking questions, which is a great thing. So,
All right.
and then after that, we'll pass it back over to Allison if that's okay with you guys.
Absolutely.
Let's see, let me go back and make sure I can find it. Okay. Okay. Will Officer King elaborate on the police communications officer position?
Okay, well, there are some minimum requirements or qualifications as well. You must first have at least a high school diploma or a GED certificate. You must be 18 years of age versus 21. So they only need to be 18 years. Now, here's the kicker. They must have at least 12 months of responsible office administrative experience, including the use of a two-way radio network or a multi-line telephone system. So they do need to have some experience in those areas. Now their duties, they're going to be the first line. They're going to be the first person that the PCO, the police communication officer, is going to be the first point of contact for citizens in need of assistance. Hypothetically speaking, if a motorist is involved in a traffic crash, he or she decides to dial 911, that police communications officer will be the first voice that they hear. So the police communication officer is going to need to be very responsible. They're going to need to exhibit professionalism, and they're going to be faced with talking to people that are probably either in a rage or just hysterical from being in a traffic crash. So that is some things that they have to be prepared to deal with. They do have a very, very important role in ALEA, with ALEA.
Okay, and we have, it's from his iPhone, so it doesn't necessarily with his name, but it's LJ Bynum, but he's making sure that you have his, and we'll make sure that we give you the contact information too again, make sure you have it, but he's asking again if you would call him after we get through, so that you
Okay,
have
is that the number that you gave me earlier?
that 806-0417.
Yes, yes.
Okay, he's asking again. He keeps losing connection with his iPhone, so he's asking.
Okay.
you to call. Okay.
Yes, yes. I'd love to speak with them.
Okay. All right, and unless I had missed someone. Bethany, do you see anybody I've missed? Okay, I think we. And guys, if I have missed some of you, as they keep popping in, please speak up and say, hey, you got me. Y'all will be glad to answer questions. And I guess we can turn it over to Allison at this time. If that's okay with everyone.
Sure, absolutely. All right, I'll try to go quick. I know we're coming up on an hour. But again, hi everyone. I work in the Fusion Center and we've talked a lot about it in passing, but just a little bit of background on the Fusion Center. So we were created after 9/11. So 9/11 happened. They realized there was a lot of different information all over the country that could have put a really good picture together to stop or prevent the attacks on our country. And so the 9/11 Commission report, if you've read that massive book, actually outlined fusion centers and what that looked like. And so the Alabama Fusion Center was stood up in 2007. And we have been around just over 10, 11, 12 years. And so we're an all crimes, all hazard fusion center, meaning we work everything from case support for local, state, and federal law enforcement. We work suspicious activities reporting. So if some citizen wants to report either suspicious activity, terrorist sightings, which, you know, that doesn't happen too often in Alabama. We're also the clearinghouse for the missing persons alert. So if you get an alert at the middle of the night for an Amber Alert or a Blue Alert that puts your phone off, that is myself or one of my coworkers in the middle of the night or during the day working to push that go button to find that missing person. I'm going to share my screen real quick if that's okay. and show you, we have a website where you can go and grab all the information you'd like to see, alabamafusioncenter.org. It's got a little bit of about us, how to contact us, but that's just kind of gives you the background, our mission, why we were created. As far as virtual recruiting and employment and things like that, so all of our analysts and our support staff, which we have a couple of different positions within the Fusion Center, are located currently in Montgomery at ALEA headquarters. So we all sit in a big bullpen of all of our staff. We have several members from local law enforcement agencies that provide an officer into our center to help us with information sharing. We have federal partners that also do the same, representatives from both the FBI, DHS, things like that. So I went ahead and grabbed this. This is the announcement to be an intelligence analyst, and all of those applications are collected through state personnel, just like Trooper King and Mr. Trippy said. So you can go to that, search that 60351. That's the job classification. The requirements, you have to have both 2 years of college coursework from an accredited, and then 2 years of professional or technical experience. And that can kind of flow if you have a 4-year degree, depending on the degree field. So we actually do prefer a degree type related to criminal justice, political science. I have a master's in science and homeland security and emergency management from Auburn University, Montgomery, as well as an undergrad in political science and homeland security. So hopefully Homeland Security doesn't go away, or I will have to jump on over to IT and put my skills to work maybe. We do conduct a background investigation, and some of our positions will require you to pass a secret background check through the federal agencies. So that can all be applied there. I'm trying to think. We do offer some type of internship program currently. Currently, we are not accepting any interns because we ourselves, as you can see, are not in the office full time yet, per the governor's teleworking orders. So hopefully 2021, and we've had students from Troy, we've had students from Fort Montgomery, we've had students from Auburn. We actually have a task force officer that sits at Tuscaloosa PD in the Cyber Intrusion Network Lab. And so some of our interns from the University of Alabama actually sit with her to work the cyber angle, which again, we are an all crimes, all hazard fusion center. So we have our hands in election, cyber election stuff coming up. We have our hands in critical infrastructure, dealing with bridges and transportation, networking with Department of Transportation, TVA up in North Alabama, different critical infrastructure protection groups. And so we have a variety of missions going on in the Fusion Center. Our number one mission within ALEA is to support troopers and agents with casework. So someone asked about digital forensics. So a lot of our analysts have some type of subject matter expertise. Mine just happens to be social media. So I actually interned in the Fusion Center. We talked a lot about interns. I was an unpaid intern in the Fusion Center, straight out of college, looking for a job. I worked there for 8 months, not affiliated with the university because I was just craving some type of internship. And so I've been there for 8 years when we really got into social media. And so I assist local law enforcement with any type of social media, school threats on Snapchat, how to request information from social media providers. But we have a subject matter expertise on a lot of the main issues facing our country, facing our law enforcement. Currently, it's dealing a lot with the protests and making sure our troopers and officers that are managing those peaceful protests, it allows us to stay safe and peaceful, but also protecting our officers throughout the state. So that's just a quick rundown of us and then how you can get employed with us. We have a position under an intelligence analyst called an investigative technician. And a lot of people, we've already talked about it today, is you need experience to apply for some of these positions. And how do you get that? Everyone wants to be an analyst straight out of the box, but that takes time, as you saw on our announcement. So an investigative technician is a good entry-level position into the Fusion Center. Doesn't have as many requirements. The only downside is we don't have as many of those as we do analysts. So those are few and far between, currently not hiring for those, but we will have that on the state personnel website at some time. here coming, but we can only post it every once in a while. So we post and we hire off of it, and then we have to close it down for a little bit. Pending any questions?
This is the perfect time to ask questions, so you guys have done well so far. So if there are any questions out there, please ask.
Good deal. All right, well, Donna, I must say we really appreciate you guys for having us. If there's anyone else watching out there, once again, I'm Trooper Senior Reginald King. My email address is Reginald, that's REGINAL, there's no D on it, .king, KING, @alea.gov. You can reach out to me directly, or you can go to our website, that's www.alea.gov, that's ALEA.gov. Go under the employment section and just follow the links. There's going to be a section that says career progression information. You can click on that. Frequent asked questions. And once again, I want to encourage everyone to take a look at that 3-minute video, and I'm sure there's something on there that will pique your interest.
Okay, well, if there are no more questions, we definitely appreciate you guys taking time to do this.
Yes,
It's been very informative. And you can see from your questions that students have been very interested and they've asked some really good questions. And they definitely, I think, appreciated you guys taking time to do this session for them.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we recorded it. We'll also put this on our YouTube page so that we can refer other students to your page, ones that weren't able to join today. It's a great educational tool, and we get questions all day long about different opportunities and what they consist of, and these are resources that are very valuable to our students, and we definitely appreciate you guys doing this. Have I missed any, Bethany, questions that you can see? Just make sure that I haven't missed anyone.
Yes, ma'am.
And just thank you.
There's one more at the bottom, I think.
Okay, yes, there is. Okay. From Chad McPherson, thank you. I'm on band 1 for, let's see. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay.
Oh, that was more for Aaron.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I don't understand. Aaron, can you see that question?
Yeah, so Chad, is there anything specific when you mean get some more experience? Because if you're on band 1, it means you have some experience. And so band 2 of the programmer analyst associate probably just means you had less experience than some of the people above you.
Right.
Were you talking about in specific code languages or on
I'm just looking to get a little bit more experience because I've noticed that when I go for interviews, they really ask for even more experience because all my experience is through school. So I have my bachelor's and I'm in the middle of my master's currently. So
I
that's how
got you.
I get passed up because I don't have real world experience.
Yeah, and that's one of the conundrums of the world we live in now. Education is very important, though. And again, I think the state is catching up in the IT sector. They had to do it in all the other sectors, and there's a lot that goes on to support all the state agencies from personnel's perspective. But I think they really appreciate how involved IT is in everything these days. So these job descriptions, they're actually, I'm on a board or a group that gets to give inputs on how to update these to make them more applicable to real world and to students coming out and to what I need done. And programmers is one of those things that it's so diverse. It's hard to define a job description for it. I can tell you what I'm looking for, Chad, is I'm looking for more generic requirements so that we can pick and choose, because one application requires, I don't want you to have any experience in anything else. I want you to learn this application, right? Because I don't want you to bring bad Java habits over here to .NET, and right? Yeah, but in technology, Microsoft and these other big companies are making power apps and things that are kind of changing the programming world, where we can bring products to market faster than if we build it from the ground up. So a lot of career programmers don't want anything to do with a Microsoft Power App, but young people, people that are trying to get into the career field will. So I need job descriptions that will allow me to do that. So we're working through, I actually just hired 3 programmers off the register with no experience to learn our new driver's license modernization system that we're going to roll out in 2022 for the state. And they will be the ground floor of operating that system as programmers. So, you know, just I would just, you're on the register, so you've done the best thing you can. And that's kind of the state's monster.com, right? So when we go looking for people, we pull from the register. So you're ahead of most.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Would it benefit him to update his resume and send another resume in once he has graduated?
So resumes are very important. The state, however, has not really utilized that as a way to bring people in. Again, I'm new to the state, so I'm trying to help figure out how we can leverage the state processes and procedures better. But I hope in the future a resume, I think you need to keep a resume no matter where you are in your career. So for students, start now with your resume so you're just updating it and tweaking it throughout your career. It is very important to keep up with your resume. For the state specifically, there's a state application and you want to be very specific in responding to the job requirements. Very specific, not creative, not like a resume, very specific. So can you write in red ink? You write, I can write in red ink. That specific is how you want to respond to state applications. Does that answer the question? Okay.
Oh, completely. sir.
But
Thank
do
you.
be ready for interview questions, right? Do practice that. Do go through, you know, Google. You can Google interview questions. Be ready to sell yourself and your skills and what you want to do to make a difference.
Okay, I've got one question. Do you generally call students in for a personal interview, initial interview, or are you into video interview, initial video interviews?
Yes, no, maybe so. I think that all of us are leveraging video conferencing now more than ever. So we want to use that as much as possible. It's more convenient for people's schedules, as well as for you know, just possibly health reasons. So we usually start with a phone interview and gauge people's interest, because sometimes you may be on the register for specific jobs, so you're really not interested in talking to me. You may have already taken a job and they haven't taken you off the registry yet. So we do phone calls first to gauge people's interest. And then if we want to have a follow-up, we'll do a video interview. And that'll usually be more of a technical interview for IT type jobs.
Any more questions? Can you guys think of any questions they're not asking? Maybe that will be. Maybe there's things they need to know that they don't know to ask. Not really. Okay. All right. Well, I think if there aren't any more, you can definitely contact students. You can definitely have the contact information. You can still ask questions if you think of them tomorrow or next week. Down the road, you know, you can always come back. Well, like I say, we'll post this on our YouTube page. You can come back and listen, you know, more thoroughly. If maybe there's something you thought you heard, you want to come back and listen to, come back and listen to the video. And we definitely appreciate all of you tuning in, all of the students that we have participating on this call, and definitely been a valuable experience. And if there's anything, or do you have anything that you would like to add?
No, just thank y'all for your time.
We greatly appreciate it. Okay, if there's not anything else, then we'll sign off. And oh, I thought you said something. I'm sorry, I heard somebody back there. I was like, okay, but anyway, but we definitely appreciate it, and we'll sign off. And thank you guys again for your time.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
you.
Bye.